Hi there, Frank George here. As a doctor, I know a thing or two about probing. Indeed I do. I love something that's easy to install, easy to use, and backed by a real support team. And that's why I choose TH3D Easy ABL Kit for my 3D printers. I prefer not to waste countless hours trying to figure out how to connect things to my machine when I could be printing instead. With the TH3D Easy ABL, you get technical support, easy to use firmware, quality parts, amazing accuracy, and there's no moving parts. What are you waiting for? Head over to their site at easyabl.th3dstudio.com and get one today. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy printing. The Easy ABL kit is meant for 3D printer usage only, not for medical or rectal use.
What's up, everybody? Sorry about the delay. Hope you guys enjoyed I rolled the ad because I realized my camera wasn't on and it takes about 30 seconds to power up. I also love that video. You guys have no idea how much I love that video and how it came out. All right, so sorry about the delay. I was dealing with somebody spamming in the C3D groups that I manage. And also, let me give a shout out to everybody else. Andrew Crossan, Bruno Gabriel, Cody John, Gene Leach, Jay Aristide. I know I pronounced your last name wrong. Kevin William, Lisandro Padilla, Luke Hatfield, Mark Coolin, Michael Schaefer, Rob Bothmer, Tor Blaisley, Tyler West, and Wilhelm Saunders. Thank you guys for helping run those groups. There's so much crap that goes on in them. Yeah, so anyways, there'll probably be a stream about that guy later because me and the other admins just spent like 2 hours cleaning up his constant spam of his crap that he didn't have approval to push. So anyways, I digress. So what I have here is I don't, you guys know I don't like the crappy no-name power supplies. So I grabbed our case here that we use for the Meanwells. The STL's on this site. If you're lazy and don't want to print it, it's like, I think $6 to have us print it. But the stock receptacle on the Kingroon fits into this case. And I have our Ender 3 power wires, it's just 12 gauge wire with ends crimped on. So I have these attached to the PSU, and I have the line neutral and ground attached to the PSU as well. It's a very simple installation. So what I'm going to do is show you guys where these connect to, because I wasn't comfortable pushing all that current over a little barrel plug. And let me grab that. So this was the stock shroud that was on the PSU that was included. So I took the receptacle out, and this is the shroud. And this is what all of that printer's current was going over, was this little barrel jack. And that was a 350 watt power supply. And these little jacks are only rated for up to like 3 or 4 amps. And that's for the actual like name brand jacks, let alone whatever cheap Chinese ones are using. So I'll show you the wire thickness too. Because the funny thing is the bed wires actually have 2 sets of wires going to them, both of which are thicker than this wire. So this is really the only gripe I had with this printer, and I mostly did this because I'm willing to bet that in a couple months we're going to start seeing people with the Kingroon where their barrel jacks are burning up. So this is the wire that feeds the barrel plug, okay? This is the wire for that. I just stripped that off so you guys can see. And to give you a comparison, so you guys, it's hard to tell. Let me line this up here. So there's a comparison of the wires that I'm running versus the wires that were feeding this entire printer. So that's why I'm doing this switch. This is 12. You could probably use 14 and be fine. But I stock 12 gauge, and there's the fork terminals pre-crimped on these, so you guys don't even have to have crimpers. It's 1 meter each one, and the ends are already crimped on. So you can DIY, you can buy it from us. I really don't care. We carry them. I just wanted you guys to know that. So let's see. What is this? This doesn't have an AWG rating, but it does have a millimeter rating. Let me convert that. This is 18 gauge roughly. It says 1 millimeter. So this is 18 gauge wire feeding this printer. This really should have at least 16 or 18 gauge for how much the bed pulls. The bed pulls about 5 to 6 amps when I put my current clamp on there, depending on if it's in regulation, like PID turning on and off or not. And that's just the bed. So that was my concern for replacing this. And for the record, the printer's a $130 printer. The normal price without the coupon is $150. And this is the kind of stuff that I'd expect from a printer that cheap, to be completely honest with you guys. Like you guys know, my ratings come from the fact of what does the printer cost, what do you get, and I'm just doing some upgrades. So I got my Meanwell already mounted up in here in the case, and I got my 24 volts going out. So this stock printer uses a 24 volt supply. So let's switch over to my arm camera here. There we go. And let me grab my hex wrenches. If this camera cuts out, I'll switch it out. It's a brand new USB 3 cable, so I'm not sure if it's going to give me any issues or not. I've had a hard time finding one that works with this camera that's also longer to get to my computer. So I got my Bondhus Allen keys here. So let's tear into this and I'll show you guys where it connects to. All right, let me get my light in here so you guys can see what's going on. Let me pop my chat out. Pop out the chat. And let me see here. Refresh. There we go. And live chat. All right. Yeah, I see there's some artifacts happening here. Hopefully the camera stays connected. If not, I have a way to jerry-rig it. All right, so on this particular machine, the screws you're going to need to remove to get to the motherboard are these two right here. This one towards the front, which my head is covering. So this one, and this one. Then these two front screws. Okay, that's just the ones you need to remove on the bottom. On the top, we need to take out these two connecting to the extrusion and these two connecting to the extrusion. Now these have hammerhead nuts, so you just need to loosen them up. That's it. So I believe I'm going to use a 2 millimeter. That's what they look like. Let's go ahead and get these out of here. Oh yeah, just so you don't screw up your SD card or your slot, take your card out before you take the cover off. But I wasn't really comfortable using this long term because I didn't want to fry the board. What I might do is actually remove the jack from the board so I can route my wires out there, but I think I can get the wires out the back, so I might just leave it. We'll see. We'll see how much room I have to play with. I might have to take the bed off, but we're going to see if I can get away without taking the bed off here. But as you guys can see here, the bed's got, yeah, these are 16. It's got 2 pairs of 16 gauge wires. So I don't know if you guys know this, but this is not going to be able to pull more current than the main power input's going to go. So yeah, there's that. All right, am I going to be able to get this off without having to remove the bed? Let's see. Oh, can I angle it out? I feel like I'm getting hung up on these hammerhead nuts here. These two are free. Here, let me take these out, because these you can just slide up right here. These slide up and out. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So you do not need to remove the bed. You can just, you're going to want to disconnect this fan here. So this fan goes right here. Just be careful. There's a ribbon cable for the LCD. So we can disconnect the fan back here. And then the LCD, I'm going to move out of the way so I don't break it. You just push on. So hopefully my camera focuses correctly. If not, I'm going to have to manually override it, which it looks like I'm going to have to do. Thanks Logitech for making a camera that doesn't have good autofocus. I appreciate it. All right, autofocus. Let's get that into focus here. Let me turn that off. Autofocus off. There we go. So it has a good lens for a webcam. So you can just take these and you kind of push this out. And then, oh, no, we're still locked in there. There we go. I heard a snap. So this should come out now. And remember, the blue side faces up because the other side has the pins on it. So now, if we look on this board here, yeah, focus, you fact. I see someone watches AVE. All right. So let me focus that. Focus, you fact. All right. So this is the power terminal input. Now this, I'm assuming, is connected to here because it looks like they're feeding the hot end fan off of this here. So this would be always on. So this is where I'm going to put my power in on this printer. So let me grab a flathead. Actually, I think I have one. Yes, I do. I was a Boy Scout. Anybody know what the Boy Scout motto was? What's the Boy Scout motto? Anybody in here was ever in the Boy Scouts? I'm actually an Eagle Scout. Let's see here. All right, look at that. Go ahead and unscrew that. Be prepared, Mr. Bootram, for the win. All right. Always, yeah. Always be prepared, be prepared. Same difference. All right. Hey, look it. They didn't tin the wires. But these are just fan wires. So we're going to wrap these in with our main power wires. Yeah, that's the only thing. Should I take these out to make this easier? I don't know how easy of a time I'm gonna have. You know what? If I grab some pliers, I should be able to make this work. So the thing is, these come with 1 meter length. You do not need this. So I'm gonna cut this only about 1.5 feet on it. So I'm gonna cut this about halfway because I don't need this much wire. So if you want a quick way to do it, once you have it connected, do a loop, and then you're gonna cut at the loop here. That's what she said, JF. All right, so I'm going to cut these. And then we're going to strip them. And hang on to this wire. You may be like, oh, why do you want to hang on to a couple feet of silicone wire? Because this stuff's expensive. You could use it for projects. So now when you strip this stuff, you can either use side cutters and pull it off, but I got these nice vice grips. I'm not sponsored by vice grips, but if anybody from vice grips watching, I'd be happy to try out some more of your tools. I will sell out for some tools. It's a way to my heart. Now my only thing is going to be a pain getting both of these in. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a pain. So let me show you guys what I do when I have a situation like this, because this is just a fan wire. I will wrap this around the other wire because we don't want to tin this, because if you guys watch my channel, you'll know that tin wires are not good, especially in screw terminals. So what I'm going to do is tape this, or wrap that around there, okay? I'm going to put a piece of electrical tape right here just to keep these two together. So let me grab electrical tape out of my drawer. Only the best high quality stuff from Home Depot. All right. If I can get the damn roll started, that'd be great. And I always rip off a little bit. All right. So I'm just going to take a little piece of electrical tape here. And I'm going to use this to keep these two wires together to make my life easier when installing them. And just wrap it around. Okay. Now let's see if I'm going to be able to get this in. Now I'm going to make sure that this terminal is all the way opened up. So I'm going to unscrew this a little bit more. I think at this point I'm probably just spinning. Oh, no, it's going up more. Okay. Usually the screw heads will come up a little bit more, which they did. All right, so those should be wide open now. All right, so if you look on the board here, you got plus on this terminal here and negative on this one here. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll make sure that these wires are both wrapped nice and tight. And I'm going to bend this a little bit. It's going to be a little harder with the electrical tape, so I kind of shot myself in the foot there trying to keep these together, but also is going to make it harder to bend. But let's see if I can get this in without taking the board out. I'm going to say no. I could probably do it, but I'm going to fiddle with it. But these are just little like plastic washers or nuts. So let's just take these out. There's one on each corner of the board. There's one over here. And there's one tucked back under the bed. So I should be able to slide the bed forward. Yep. It's a tight fit. But I can get to it by my hands. Yeah, 14 gauge would be fine. I have 12. So that's what we're using. All right, come on, almost. It's almost like they make tools to get nuts off. But these were all hand tight. I did not use tools to get these off. All right, let's just lift that board off the post. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just angle that sucker out. And now I can get to these posts a lot easier. The jack might pop off. You're not wrong. $12 gauge is usually what the max that'll fit in this. You want to make sure all your wires inside the terminal. Okay? Let's see here. Did they tin these? These are the bed wires. We're going to check these since we're in here. I'm willing to bet they tin the bed wires. All right. So that's in there. Give it a nice little tug. How many people? We got 46 people watching. Hi, Samantha. It's okay. Come here. You can hand me my packages. You're not gonna be. I'll tell you when you're coming into stream. So like, right here is where my hand's on camera. So you're fine. Samantha doesn't like being on the screens. What did I get today? Oh, this says TH3D Studios. This is probably boring inventory stuff. Feels like screws. All right. This is work. I tell her it's work. I don't have to be doing this right now, but I have all my tickets replied to. So I needed to get this done. So I figured let's stream it. Because you guys said you wanted to see more videos like this and more streams where I'm upgrading stuff. So here it is. All right. So see how that? I got the wire for the fan all twisted in there. And now let's put it in there. Oh, there we go. No strands came loose. And there's our negative. Oh, I feel it. It bit. Yeah, if you guys want, go on live chat and bug Tor. He's the one who mans our live chat. All right, so while we're in here, let's. I'm willing to bet they tin these, so let's take one of them out. These are our bed wires. And they're tinned. Color me shocked. Well, considering this little printer is going to be in my personal farm here, I'd prefer it not to burn the board up and possibly start a fire. You can use a MOSFET with these. I think I'll be fine because this bed doesn't draw more than like 5 amps from when I did the load test on it. Actually, we'll bust out the current meter. I was just based it on resistance, but I got a current clamp. So I can show you guys how that all works. Oh no. The only thing I don't like about these is you gotta be quick, and I screwed up stripping it. Alright, well. Close enough. I'll have to futz with this when I'm done here. Yeah, they have this all zip tied and whatnot. Let's try that again. There we go. What's wrong with futz? Making fun of me? Wait, Griffin. Oh, he was joking. You guys realize Griffin works for TH3D, right? He's one of our contractors. He's our engineer. He was being sarcastic. Yeah. He always uses ferrules because he's made him money. I'm sorry. I'm not rich enough to have a ferrule set in my office. I think Aaron's got one, but we only own one set of ferrule like ends and crimper. And plus, not everybody has them. Well, yeah, you could. I didn't see any come off, but it's a valid point there, Cranky Pants. Just got a bunch of dads watching. Cranky Pants, Old Curmudgeon. Oh, this is tight. There we go. I don't know, I'm good. I was like, I think I might have stripped these longer, but we're good. I'm going to check those heater wires too. Why not? We're already in here. I'm not old, just annually challenged. Tyler, you're a dad. You got like 5 kids, okay? All right. So let's give these a little tug. That's what she said. All right, let's check these ones. Let's check the heater wires. This would be a lot easier if the bed was off, just so you guys know. We do have, okay, we got a decent amount of wire on the heaters. They are not tinned. But I don't know, it just looks messy. So here's how I do these. These are always a pain because they have this cloth covering. So usually I'll give them a couple thwacks with this. And then you'll get the wire, but you got all this other crap in the way. So I'll use the flush cutters to get all this fuzz out of the way so you can actually get to the wire. Yeah, see how nice that looks now? I'm pretty sure Maker's dad bod would just be a dad bod slightly bigger. So we can see here, the strippers do work on this. You just got to give it a couple rips, bud. And I'm not cutting the wire. I'm cutting back the cloth covering to get it out of the way so I can see what the hell I'm doing in here. Almost. Only almost, Jake. Almost. I'm not an expert. I'm just slightly less dumb than the average person. Alright, so what I'm doing here is actually putting my screwdriver in, it's a flathead, and I'm turning it because I'm opening up. These contacts have like the little plastic tabs and they don't always come back down, which is what bites into the wire. So you put that in there and it lifts the contact back up. I'm going to go underneath here. All right, so that's a little long. I can still, from my angle, I can actually still see a little wire. So I'm just going to trim the end here. Just about that much. This one's not as bad, but I'm still going to trim a little bit. And the wire clippings are on the desk, not the board, Mr. Cranky Pants. All right, so there we go. The wire's all the way in. Now I can tighten the terminal back down. Yeah, I see that artifact. I think it's the cable or the hub it's plugged into. I don't know. When you have as many USB devices as I do, things get a little weird. But I could potentially make it not work completely right now. So I'd rather err on the side of it partially working and artifacting occasionally. All right, get a little tug. Yeah, I just saw that artifact that popped up on screen. It is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and get this back in here. Now, here's the thing. You see these here? These are all loosey-goosey, so I'm going to go on the bottom here. That one's fine. It's just this one here. I'm going to tighten this up. I'm just going on the bottom. I'm not going to remove my camera. I'm just tightening, holding the plastic nut by hand and tightening it up. I'll do these other ones too. Why not? I'm already in here. I don't want to be in here again in the future. That's why I'm doing all these little changes now. Okay. So I'm going to want to have obviously the PSU is now attached to the printer. And I want the cables to come out the back here. And I actually got some extra space here on this block. I think I could feed them through right here because this is pretty loose. All right, I'm willing to bet these are T-nuts, so this will be fun. Yep. Did they put the wires through this, or is it? No, they didn't. This T-nut's just not disengaging. There it is. Okay. So I'm just going to feed these out with the other wires here. Oh no. That's what I was trying to avoid. All right, well, let's do this. Let's mount my board, and then we'll figure that out. All right. So these wires, especially with the tape on them, this one I can angle over. Oh, I think we should be good. We got enough flex with the silicone here. Yeah, we should be fine. All right, I'm just gonna push those down. I got no strands sticking out. "3D Jimmy, I know you're old because you're talking about a nap, and I know I'm old because I love napping now. Nothing like a good nap." All right, now this one in the back, I'm just going to put this on by hand unless let me see if I have a socket that's long enough to fit that. Or small enough, I should say. That's the main thing. Oh no. I opened it upside down. Oh god. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but... No. My sockets are messed up. Okay. All right. Looks like these are 6 mil. 6 mil seems to fit. Like, why wouldn't... I don't understand, like, this is just some Amazon brand Tecton I'm using for my, my sockets here. This one won't work. Doesn't have enough clearance, but this one does. All right. I might be able to get in here with the socket. I got shavings from the... All right. Oh, aha, it fits. All right. Let me back this one up here. Did I lose my nut? I lost me nuts. Where did my other plastic one go? Oh no. I've lost me nut. Oh no. What the heck? I took 4 off of the printer, right? I'm pretty sure I did. There's not really much space for this to go. The hell? Let me try re-seeing this cable. Let's see if that makes it worse or better. I rotated it around. I swear to God, I thought I just saw it flicker out of the corner of my... Okay, it didn't flicker. We'll see. You know what? It wouldn't be a live stream if I didn't drop something and it was on the floor. Compressed air as a precaution before butting it up. I have a small air compressor, but that's going to take like 5 minutes just to get up to pressure. Oh, did it just artifact? I thought it just artifacted. Oh no, Tim just got moisture all over his board. It's going to fry. Someone's going to say that in the YouTube comments. Just wait. All right. Let's get these wires secured. Let's see if I can get you guys in here. Hang on. Get the light in there and the camera. Where's my focus utility? There we go. So here's the thing. I don't like that they have the bed in between these two, so I'm going to actually move these around. So that way my bed wires can come out without, because it was hanging up on these other two for the gantry when it was moving. Now, trying to think of the best way to route these power wires here. I think they'll fit with the other wires that were already here. Let's see. If not, I can put one in one hole and one in the other. I think we're good. All right. Just get these in the slots. Looks like the bed wires are hanging me up. Okay. I think we'll be good. I just got to get the T-nuts to engage now into the extrusion. Make sure I'm not crimping anything down. We good? Oh, no, there's one under here. All right, we're good now. Cool. Just gonna even up the length of these here. All right. And now just tighten my hammerheads back down. Oh no. Okay, that one bit in. You know, Aaron, maybe if you stop by my office more. All right. I didn't pinch anything. And now these actually aren't even going to move because they're nice and compressed in here. And silicone is not very tacky, but it's tacky, so. All right, I mean, those aren't even moving. Hell yeah. All right, so I got my bed wires, my power wires, my PSU can just come over here and chill on the side of the printer. Just like that. Or behind it, or whatever. Whatever you're into. Let's make sure that this powers up. I'm not going to hook up the LCD just yet. But if the fans turn on, that means I got power. All right, make sure I'm set to 115. I am. So on your guys' power supplies, there's a switch to set it between 115 and 24 volt. Or 115 and 220, not 24. All right, we gonna let the magic smoke out, or did I get everything wired correctly? All right, fan turned on, so I'm confident enough to put the top back on. So let me get this fan plugged back in the back corner here. Actually, I'm going to hook the LCD up, then do the fan. So make sure that this bar is out all the way so that this can seat in there. Remember, the blue tab on this board goes up, and then push that in. Let's get our board fan plugged back in. Now, I will eventually add a layer fan to this. I just didn't feel like doing it today. It's not terrible print quality out of the box. Get my hammerhead nuts seated in there. Drop these guys back in. All right. Mr. Robot Series 4, Episode 5. Currently have a starring role printing a fingerprint mold to open a secure door. How's that for product placement? That's good. Aw. Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate it. It'll go to my beer money. Which is how I cope with the abusive YouTube comments. I appreciate it. Or maybe I'll buy Aaron lunch. Get that $5 fill-up box at DQ. All right. Let's see. I got 2 more screws to go. 2 in the front that I removed. Right here. White Claw money. Oh, man. All right. Also, I don't know if you guys notice, but there's a probe mount on here. Oh, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Maybe not on this stream, but once I get the firmware set up. There we go. All right, now let's see how quick the bed heats up, because there should be a difference in the heat up time, in that it should be less. I gotta adjust like the I just gotta fine tune some of the firmware for this. Because as you see, if you press and hold, it just yeets it. Let's go to 70. Let's see how it does. Welcome to the party, Steve. Or Steven. I don't know what you prefer. What your preferred noun is. Well, there we go. See, and the PSU can stand, or it can lay down, whatever you're feeling. Can stand up or lay down. Doesn't matter. But now I got a better PSU on here. Huh, we're already at 50C. Pretty respectable. Smooth idlers versus toothed idlers. Oh man, that camera's tweaking out. It's so hard to find a good USB 3 cable. Malcolm, I'm not going to publish that because it's got your personal information in it. But we can't ship to Cyprus. We've had a lot of packages lost, and they have a lot of restrictions because of the area they're in. But you can, we ship to England, so we just don't do package forwarders. So if you have a friend that's in England, we can ship it there, but we don't do package forwarders because we can have issues. It's already at 70C. I just noticed that. Now let me go to prepare. Oh wait, this is Marlin 2. Hang on. I think it's under temperature now. Yeah, it is. Let's just preheat ABS. Let's see if this bed will hit 100. I think it will. The only thing is, like, at 70C, look at this magnet's like... This magnet's, like, not happy at all. Like, just... I don't know if you guys can see it. It's just... flimsy. Which is why I am getting plates made for our stuff, because this is like, this is barely even holding on at this point. Like, this is taking me no effort to move this, because this is just 2 fridge magnets with a bed sheet on top. So definitely gonna not be able to use that for ABS. We're already at 87. Turn the magnet sideways. Oh yeah, because of the poles. Oh, that's a little better. Ooh, it's really hot though. Yeah, that's a little better. Actually, quite a bit better. I can still break it loose, but thanks for the tip. I did not do a PID tune, but you can actually do it. This is Marlin 2. I believe they moved it under configuration. Temperature, yeah, it's under temperature. Configuration, advanced setting temperature. So you can do an auto tune. I'm gonna do like 230. Because this still has PTFE, that's not high temp in the hot end. So if you do that, it's not gonna show you anything on screen, but you'll see it start cycling the heater. It's gonna tune it. Ooh, it's hot. It's actually not sliding at 90. So it's not terrible. Why the heck would they put it the wrong direction? That makes no sense. I wonder if I move this camera to a different USB port, if I'll stop getting those artifacts. I'll play with that offline. This is working well enough for right now. But yeah, you can see here, look at, I rotated it like Cranky Pants said, and it's actually sticking. I'm not a fan of these like magnet on magnet deals, but for included with the printer, it's a nice addition. Would I buy something like this aftermarket? No. I really like the metal plates. Yeah, because like what he's saying is the magnetic poles, they're not lined up here. It kind of sticks, but if you look, see how it's kind of like snapping into place? Because ooh, it's hot. Because the magnetic poles are lined up now. So that's good. When will the plates be ready? In about 2 to 3 weeks, I'm having them cut with the Solval ones. So if you guys are wondering about the Solvals, yes, I'm getting plates cut and magnets cut for these and the Solvals. The firmware's on our website. Go to th3dstudio.com, click Knowledge Base, and then Firmware, and there's a Kingroon section. So I will show you guys. I still need to do more testing. Some guys said they were having missteps, but I mean, if I auto home here, I'm not gonna go down all the way because it'll hit the PSU. Yeah, the other sides are gonna be restocked soon. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading chat right now. Oh, firmware link. That's what I was gonna do. Hang on. Let me show you guys here. TV. So if you go to our site, up and underneath my head, there's Knowledge Base. Click Firmware, and you can select Kingroon. So this is not the same firmware as like our normal Unify firmware. So you can see under these all actually link to the same page because these are all supported here. Because this is Marlin 2, I separated this one out, and you can actually just download this file. And this has the firmware in it. So did Chrome download? Oh, there you go. So if you open this file up, there's a folder called th3dkp3. Sorry if it's small. I don't have scaling enabled. So there's a source code, and then I actually put the pre-compiled binaries in here for you guys. So robin_mini.bin. You put this on your SD card with the printer off, turn it on, and then it'll update. I will make more folders in here with the stuff once we get the ABL system working on here. I just got to do some final tuning on here. For the board, there were some people saying they were having some issues, so I got to see if I can replicate them on this machine here and then tweak the firmware. So we do have EEPROM working on this. It saves it to SD card because the STM32 does not have an EEPROM chip, so you do need to have an SD card present when you do EEPROM. Oh, so like right now my PID tune is not going to get saved because the EEPROM isn't on, but if I put my SD card back in and turn the printer on, it should actually have, I believe I already PID tuned it. So it will store these settings to the SD card since this printer doesn't have an EEPROM on the CPU, which is one of the reasons I don't like the STM32 chips. They do not have an EEPROM, so you have to do a workaround where you save it to the card, and I know Marlon's working on saving it to the actual program memory, which I'm not a fan of because then you're rewriting and writing the program memory on the chip quite frequently, which could potentially wear out that chip's program memory. If that wears out, your board doesn't work. So, but I believe, let me see, let me preheat and see if the temp overshoots. That'll tell me if I actually PID tuned it or not. You have to have an SD card if you want EEPROM support. Yeah, the source code is in there. I'm not these Chinese companies that just give you bin files or hex files. I actually respect the GPL license. And more importantly, I want you guys to be able to tune it for your machine. So if there's something I set up that you don't like, you can go in and change it if you want. I just put the pre-compiled one in there because I know a lot of people are just going to want to flash it and move on with their life. You can, SD card printing does work on this build. If you see here, you can do print from media, which is the SD card, but I don't have any G-code files on there. Well, let's see. I may not have PID tuned it because it's undershooting now. I'm actually using PID values from another guy. Maybe I did. It's not overshooting anymore. We're right at 199. Normally I do not print over SD card. I use a Raspberry Pi with Octoprint on it. I use the same kits I sell to everybody on our site, the Easy Pi kits. But you can DIY yours if you don't care about having support. But if you guys do roll your own Pi kits, make sure you get a power supply, not a phone charger, and get a good quality SD card because that's where a lot of people have issues. They try to power the Pi with a phone charger, and it's a charger. It's not a power supply. There's a difference in how it regulates its power. So, like when we sell our kits, they come with an actual power supply. It's not a USB phone charger. Where can an old man find what I am saying? The firmware is on our website. Here, I'll post the link directly to it for you guys that don't want to be bothered. There you go. Ooh. Am I out of juice? No, I probably just gotta change my coil. Let's see, Kingroon, I'm gonna check Amazon for this. It's still 130 freedom bucks on US Amazon. So it sounds like they're shafting you Canadian fellas, because I can buy it right now for 149 prime shipped with $20 off. Even at 149, this is a solid deal. This just sweetens it. So that's about it. I'm going to meant to switch over this one. So I'm going to look into the firmware issues that people posted in the Kingroon group and see if I can replicate them here. And if I can, I'm going to attempt to fix them. Some people are getting missed steps, I think was the main thing. And then disabling the motors after a set amount of time. That's definitely a setting I think I overlooked, because in my normal firmware, I have X, Y, and Z disable after a certain amount of time to reduce noise, and so the drivers aren't on all the time. So I have the list of all your guys' posts, and I appreciate you guys testing it. I did a few tests on this one, and it worked fine. I'm going to go back to that thread. I'm going to make actually an itemized list of what I need to look in, because I was just going to reference that, but I'm going to make a list for myself on what I need to test and see if I can replicate for you guys. All right. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, does mine make noise? Do you guys hear it? There's fans. The mic is right by the printer right now. Man, I'll home it. I'm just not gonna let it go down all the way on Z. I don't hear anything out of the ordinary, just fans. I mean, the mic's literally right next to the printer. If you guys can hear it here. Just fan noise. No removable stepper drivers. If you rewind, it's a MKS Robin Light. Yeah, it should sound like the Ender 3 because it has the 4098 drivers. It's the same exact stepper drivers as Ender 3. It has a 32-bit processor, but the stock firmware it leaves a lot to be desired, which is why I put some time in. I want to make sure I get the guy's name right. Paul Switek from the Kingroon group. He forwarded me a copy of his that he had mostly working, and then I started building on that and enabling options and testing things. So I'm going to go through your guys' posts on the group. So here's a group if you guys aren't already in it. There's a link to the group. But I'm going to go through and see if I can replicate them on my machine and then figure out if I can fix issues you guys are having in firmware. I think the layer shifts are from Cura, which I just realized. So I'm going to post a link. If you guys are having layer shifts, I'm going to also post that on the thread. It might be Cura setting your acceleration values too high. I just realized that because we had an issue with the crealities, and even though the article says Y layer shifting, it still applies. So if you're using Cura, because here's the thing, I didn't have any issues, but I'm using S3D, and S3D doesn't screw with your jerk and acceleration. Cura does. The stock firmware doesn't respond to those G-code commands to change acceleration and jerk. It just ignores them. So the reason you don't have the issue with the stock firmware is because the firmware doesn't obey all the G-code commands that are being sent to it, whereas this one does. So if you have firmware that's just, whatever, I don't know what that command is because it's not enabled, it doesn't do anything. So whereas if you're using this and you go to Cura, or you're using Cura and you have that jerk mode enabled, it's just going to set it super high and then you're going to have less missed steps. So I could disable that. I could neuter the firmware to just ignore those commands. But I really don't like doing that unless I actually have to save space. And I don't need to save space because this board does have, I believe it's at least 256K of memory. It might be 512K when I pulled the datasheet, but it's either 256 or 512K. Either way, it's tons of memory for the firmware. So, but it just occurred to me that would be probably why you guys are seeing layer shifts and I'm not. I'm going to assume that all Curas, so I had listed here when I wrote this article 3.4.x and above because I think that's where they started introducing jerk control into Cura, and Kingroon Slicer is based on Cura. I don't know why they didn't pop into my mind until now because we had this issue a while back with the Creality printers. Aaron, what did Aaron send me? Is it the model you sent me? I mean, I can print it. Let me see here. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. All right. So let's see here. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So I think you guys using Cura, that might be the cause of it, which, like I said, I could have the firmware just ignore those commands and use the firmware defaults like the stock one does, but I don't like taking away features that are actually useful. You know, like on some of the 1284p boards, I dropped some LCD menu options to make room for actual printer features, but you could still change those options, like the jerk excel steps per millimeter through G-code. But yeah. I saw something Vince is saying. Found this Cura 4.3. USB monitoring does not work. Oh, it's a Cura issue. Yeah, oh, that's funny. They basically told you to screw off because it's a third-party machine. I mean, they're not wrong. It doesn't work on Kingroon either. I'm just scrolling through this thing. I don't use Cura's USB monitoring. I don't even think I have Cura installed on my computer. Let's see. Cura. Nope. I got screenshots from 2018. I think that was probably when I was doing that article. Yep, it was when I was doing that article that's on the site that I linked earlier. I use 100% S3D. I think I have Slick 3R or Prusa Slicer installed because I was going to play with that. Someone else said Matter Control is worth taking a look at. So I love S3D. It just works. Like, I don't mind paying for it. It just works. And that's when you're running, especially when you're running a business where you have to get prints done and they have to look good. It's worth the money for me. And switching over from one slicer to another is actually a lot of work because we've got so many different profiles already set up that I'd have to then port all those profiles over to all these printers. So the plan is to get familiar with a new slicer, test it, see if we like it, and then if we do like it more than S3D, move over. But you know, it's we're in a different level of printer usage than most people are. So you guys with only a couple printers, it's way easier to do that. You know, to switch between slices, especially if you guys aren't doing anything that you have to have prints done. I kind of envy you guys in that respect, that you can actually have some fun with your printers, where mine's more based in work. And my fun part is I get to tinker with them, but then once they're done getting upgraded, they get put to use printing stuff. So, yeah, I used Pronterface to connect to this when I was testing out the testing the firmware and the end stops and everything to make sure all that was configured correctly. Does S3 allow multiple installs? You get 2, and then you can add on more. I think we've added on. I think we can do up to 8 or 10. But you can add on to that same login. So we just paid, I think we've paid them about $600. So that would be 4 or 8 licenses totally. And I got one on my desktop, my laptop, Aaron's computer, our print farm computer. So that's 6. And then I think Aaron's laptop. So I should have one open in case we need one more slicer. So... But I like S3D. I like the program. I found some stuff out about their management's a little weird. I guess it's a mom and a son, and things get weird over there. Not anything. It came out wrong. Not anything. What's the word I want to use? Not anything creepy, but just like I guess there's drama between them, and it affects the company somewhat. So. But at the end of the day, the software works. I'm happy with it. So, yeah. Now I gotta install the Isabel on here. If you guys didn't know, when I first had that video made with the fake doctor for the Easy ABL ad, he called it the 3D Isabel. So I had to have him re-record it because it was rough. So, does anybody have any more questions for me before I wrap this up? And I'm going to clean up here, and then I'm going to plug away at the firmware for about an hour, see if I can make some improvements for you guys. And then if I do, I'll update the code on my site. I think I'm also going to push it to our GitHub too. So I'll create a Kingroon branch, or not branch. Blah. I'll create a Kingroon repository on our GitHub, because I think with these one-off machines where it's not a super popular one, but it's one that I played with, I'm going to get firmware working, and then unless there's a major bug, that firmware is going to stay the same until there's like something, unless there's something that has to be patched, like there's a safety issue or something like that. So I think it's going to be an approach I'm going to take for certain machines that are not as popular. I might do that just in general with Marlin 2 when we move everything over, because it might be easier. But the hard part then becomes keeping them all updated and making sure the updates didn't break certain things. Because right now Marlin 2 is still in a beta alpha stage. It's not an official release. So like our Easy board, I haven't moved to the newer Marlin bug fix build on it because there's bugs in it. And the current version works perfectly. So it's the same thing with this. If I actually update the base of this to the latest Marlin 2 builds, the filament sensor doesn't work. They changed something in the code, and I haven't had time to do a diff on the code between what I'm using now and what their new code is to see why it broke that. So there is a logic behind, or there's a method to my madness when it comes to not always being on the bleeding edge of the firmware, because if it doesn't print correctly, then what's the point? There's nothing stopping anybody from taking the code and doing a diff against the new one and playing with it on their own. But I've already done that for this particular machine, and the version that we're using for this, which is, I believe, from September, works great. So that's what I'm going to stick to using for this machine until they put out more patches and see if they fixed it in a later release or if they broke it. But I like focusing on making things work and making things work well instead of always being on the bleeding edge just so you can brag on the internet that you have the latest. So that's about it. 3D Jimmy, how's my German Shepherd dog? Claire's doing well. She's with mom right now, I thought. Oh no. Look at this is how good she's being. I thought Samantha took her when she went out to the shop. She's passed out. Clara. Yeah, you're a good girl. Come here. Come. Get off your lazy ass. Come here. Come on. They were asking about you. Up. Come on. Come on. Up. She's still booting up. You can tell her battery level by the ears. They're like a indicator. If they're very low, that means her batteries are pretty low. I don't know why she's so tired. Were you chasing cats last night? Is that why you were up chasing cats? I just realized my microphone is in the way. Yeah, okay, I'll leave you alone. She's such a drama queen. This breed is smart as hell, but they're also super dramatic and can be a pain in the ass. They're too smart for their own good sometimes. But I love her. She's a fantastic dog. Let's see here. You shouldn't have to do any. I just see that Tim Lump said, I have the easiest ABL best mod I've done on a CR10. Any thoughts on occasional maintenance tuning? Nope, it requires no maintenance. You don't have to do anything. Just use it. What else? It was S3D. Let's see here. That's it. Okay. Looks like you guys are pretty quiet now. So, everybody, I appreciate you stopping by. And there will be more streams. I've got the Bluer from Two Trees. I've got the ANET E16. The Ortor something. I can't remember. It's the one with these weird linear slide things. It's not linear rails. They're like slides. It's interesting. The Anycubic Chiron, which I know is an older machine, but we have two of them sitting here. One's a customer's, and one is one we bought on a sale. And there's one other one. No, that might be it. One Bluer, ANET E16, Chiron, and the Ortor. Okay, so I have 4 machines. I do have a Zone Star that's an older model that I bought from Press Reset. So there's that. In terms of stuff coming up, videos, The video for the Ender 5 Plus LCD conversion kit, the video for the CR10S Pro LCD conversion kit, and the video for the CRX LCD conversion kit. And I also, if you guys didn't notice, there were more products popping up on our site that are going to be a bundle for replacing touchscreens. And then for the CR10S Pro, I've got everything in now to not only replace the LCD, but also replace their bed leveling sensor. So it's taken a lot of work. That's why, and I didn't want to rush it out. I don't want to pull a China and throw something out there that's half finished. So, but that's all coming. I'm going to get a lot of videos shot this weekend. I think today's Friday. Is today Friday? Today's Friday. So I'm going to be shooting a lot of video this weekend, and there will be more uploads to the channel. And if I have time, I'll try to do a live stream. I think Aaron was planning on coming in tomorrow just to hang out, and we were going to do the Chirons. So we were going to do 2 Chirons at the same time. So I will print a layer fan for this. I'm going to put our 24-volt 5015 blower that we sell on this. The ABL probe, this is a CR10 OEM mount, and it kind of mounts up, but it's a little skewed because the holes are just slightly off, so I'm going to have to modify that model. But I will make a mount for the stock hot end for the probe, and also figure out what people are using for aftermarket on this to add a layer fan. So we'll have both, and then I'll have the what's the word? Oh, and then have all the firmware precompiled for those offsets for the sensors. The SKR, I have their new version. It's in a drawer. I haven't tested that. That's going to be like a shoot it and edit it type video. There's a lot of wires and stuff to move around. Do you have any videos on the MKS Gen L? I don't have any installation videos. I don't. And if you guys are looking to pick up a Gen L, which is a solid little board, we have those. They're on clearance right now because we're going to try to find a good 32-bit board. But the Gen Ls are still solid. I think they are like $12. $12.99 right now. So, and I think I know we don't have a ton left, but I love those boards. I've got those boards that are almost 2 years old in some custom machines here, which is why I sold them, but everybody's moving over to 32-bit, so I'm looking at their MKS S Gen L right now, which is the 32-bit successor to that, which will be a little more expensive, but it's been solid so far. But I got to get firmware done for that one. Let's see, I got 12 of those left in stock, and those ship from the US. We're not drop shipping anything. What else? One of these are the Prusa Mini. 3 of these are the Prusa Mini. I'd say 2 of these and do some upgrades to them. That's about it. These are solid for the price. Physical build quality is good. No complaints from me there. The only thing I said that's concerning, which is why I replaced this, the whole point of the stream, is because I was really not wanting to find out how long it takes for this end to burn up because of all the current going through it. To be completely honest, I don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because these jacks are not designed to handle that kind of current. So I'm not sure what you mean, Ned Dev. It just start doing it. I do not like it. I'm confused. Connecting to the LCD. What LCD are you using? Did you try? Oh, you might have. Hang on. You might have the backwards connector. Because those are always fun. Hang on. TH3D 12864 LCD flip. I think that should come up with it. LCD screen not lighting up. Hang on. I got a link for you. There you go. Just make sure you're selecting the right LCD in the firmware too. Because that, if you're using standard Marlin, that's the rep full graphics display, not the smart display. There are 2 different types of rep displays in Marlin. So if it's lighting up and it's bright and it's not dim, then it's going to be a firmware configuration issue, not a physical issue then. So, but check out our Discord, discord.th3dstudio.com. Where is it here? Let's see here. Here's, oh, I thought I had it loaded. If you're getting crap on the screen, that's interference. I would move the cables away from any power wires, because those screens in general, especially if you're using the longer cables, I'm posting a link there. There's a Discord server that we run. There's a specific section for MKS boards. But if you're getting corruption, then that usually indicates that it's picking up interference. So get those cables away from power wires, especially stepper motor wires in your bed. Your main power input's not that big of a concern, but stuff that's pulsing, like your bed, your hot end, your stepper motors, you don't want those next to those cables. You want to keep them away from there. So, and that's about it. So, Christmas tree STLs. So you guys may, hang on, let me mute this so I don't trigger anybody. Sorry. So anyways, that tree, so my wife loves Christmas, and the compromise was, fine, I'll put one in my office, but all the decorations on that are going to be printed. So, sound is not still off. Quit screwing with me. Okay, so this is the garland. This is printed. This is all printed. They snap together. As I just found out here, when I unsnapped one, they sometimes will pop off, but it snaps together. So, and this is polyalchemy elixir. And then got more snowflakes here that I gotta make get or print hooks for. So, and I got some other stuff I'm gonna print too. So, the only thing I don't like about the silky filaments, they look cool, but layer adhesion's really weak. So that's what happens when you try to pull them apart after you assemble them, if you print them with the silky filaments. So I guess I won't be taking those apart when I put them away. So, yeah. No CC, nope, no CC tree filaments or two trees. This was actually done on my Ender 3 with the one, if you guys ever saw videos when we were at like Murph or Earth, that's my fully decked out Ender 3. That's what I printed these on. But I might print some in regular filament because I was trying to do it in atomic silk and they were brittle. I tried 3 Salutex silk. It was brittle. The polyalchemy elixir, surprisingly, is the only one that succeeded because normally that one I have issues with being brittle. But whatever. So it's cold here. It's like, what did it say, 26? So it's gonna get colder because we live in Indiana. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I was trying to wrap this up earlier, then you guys distracted me with questions. Oh yeah, the thing on top is, I forgot to grab that. I want to show you. It's a Angel Benchy. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up and work on this for about an hour here. See if I can figure out if I can replicate any of the issues that would be firmware that those guys were posting about in the Kingroon group. And all in all, I like the printer, especially for the price. That's a big thing to me is what do I get? How much did I pay for it? And that determines if I can recommend it or not. I feel like that's a pretty fair way to handle this kind of stuff. So anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. And as always, happy printing. How many of you guys have this, or this, or this, or even this lying around your printer? Well, it's time to throw them away.
Bye, Felicia.
Because we've got the Easy Flex system that takes all the scraping out of your life. No more cut fingers, no more gouging your bed, and no more wasting time scraping prints off of your printer bed.
Shut up and take my money!